I'm discussing The Amazing Digital Circus, episode 9, spoilers, and I'm addressing the theories going around saying that the leaks are fake, and I'm going to show you guys my take on this leak situation. One more time before y'all come having conniptions in my comment section, I'm gonna say, do not watch this video if you don't want to be spoiled. Do not try and guilt trip me in the comments for discussing leaks publicly. After dealing with racist fans for a month and some change, y'all gonna have to swallow those leaks like jeans through a straw and get over it. Fandom etiquette be damned. Also, I made this instead of sleeping because dopamine, baby. Anyway, let's get into it. To be real leaks or not to be real leaks? That is the question. I'm talking about the leaks. Scroll while you still can, okay? Let's get into it. So it is currently June 2nd, and the movie comes out in theaters. Yay! That was such a great idea. Anyway, the movie comes out in theaters on June 4th, so we're 2 days away. Now, I'm not even going to talk about what happens in the leaks. I'm going to talk about the fact that people think the leaks are fake, which I think is insane. I feel like a lot of big creators are giving fans a false hope. Copium, as people call it. I hate calling it copium because that's kind of weird to me. I don't know. I don't like that. Whatever. But let me show you the rabbit hole I went down, okay? So there's two main groups of thought in this whole process. So we have people that are overanalyzing this image, right? And then they're saying that this is fake because look at Zubal's thing in the leaks. There has a little thing coming out of it. And like the weird like AI artifact thing happening. Why does it look so chopped and screwed, right? But when we go to the official trailer, we don't see that at all. We see that there's no weird chopped and screwedness, and then the spoolie thing goes and there's no little pink that comes out of it. The other school of thought is that Glitch Productions made the entire fucking movie, made an entire separate movie with a whole separate ending just to gotcha the fans. So that school of thought of, oh, the whole thing is just a fake leak comes from this. Whenever Alex Hirsch posted this fake photo of the ending to whatever season or the show, I don't know, of Gravity Falls, he posted it on 4chan. Anyway, and he tricked the fans into this whole McGucket hoax thingy. I'm sure everybody knows what this is, and that's what the people who believe the leaks are fake are comparing it to. And again, they're saying that they just made a whole second movie, like it's the fucking Spider-Verse, and we're gonna release certain scenes in theaters, and then versus online, it's gonna be different and have people confused. And if you have any knowledge of how production works, of how much energy and time it takes to run any type of show, whether it's live action, animation, it is that theory, that concept that they made a whole separate thing just to trick the fans, just for it to be a PR stunt. On so many levels, it's insane. All the controversies that Glitch is in right now, the South Korean lawsuit, the Glassdoor reviews, come on. This creator here, she talks about the animation process and how the thought of this entire leak situation being fake and on purpose is kind of crazy. And then here's the username if you guys want to watch that. It's this video right here. So now that lands us here. So we see down here, the Amazing Digital Circus finale leaker has reportedly been identified by Glitch Productions. Really? How did that happen? The Brazilian distributor. And that's why all the leaks are in Portuguese, and that's why there's multiple different translations as captions. There's captions in Arabic, there's captions in Spanish and English. I think the English one got deleted pretty quickly from the internet. I have the Arabic caption version, had no clue what was going on until I saw the English version. Yeah. So it says there's this guy named Core who claims to have direct contact with the studio while sharing the news across social media. He's a Brazilian content creator, and I think when they meant studio, they were talking about not just Glitch, but also the distributors in Brazil. And below here is a tweet. I don't know if you guys saw this. I remember seeing this tweet. There's a picture like this as well, and I'm assuming it's because bro deleted it, because I looked at his information and I scoured all his social medias. He has a studio as well. Here's what he said. Yes, guys, episode 9 of Amazing Digital Circus has leaked. I reported everything to Glitch Productions. They already know what happened and who leaked it. Okay. Now, this is great law, and you may be thinking to yourself, how is this dude, like, in any way credible at all? Once I found that tweet that was deleted on that Facebook post, I went and I looked at this dude's actual Twitter. So he is a Brazilian content creator. This is his page. This is his email, the link trees and stuff. his follower count and whatnot. He's located in Brazil. Great, everything checks out. I clicked this dude's link tree to see like what he got going on. There's also a Newgrounds link. Yay, Newgrounds. Anyway, here's his TikTok. And I even stalked through bro's Instagram, okay? So I did all this to find some type of credibility. So this guy seems like he's really big in Brazil. He has a studio. I found that out through translating his his captions on his Instagram post. Yeah. Now that takes us back to this tweet here. So this is him quote retweeting Glitch announcing that they have new locations on the way. Great, whatever. Then he's talking about the locations in Brazil. In Brazil, apparently Sinopolis, Cine Rajo, and Cine System may have joined through the Ingresso platform. Some fans reported that there are more cinemas with tickets, distributors in their cities around them. Now you may be wondering, Ingresso platform, what the fuck is that? Now when I typed in Ingresso, I got this first, and this is a company called Accesso, where they roll to new consumers with Ingresso connectivity channel management platform that provides global distribution access opportunities. And so I thought, I found it. This is it. This proves that this guy is right and that he does have connections with Glitch and he does have connections with the distributors in Brazil. Because of the products, they have the Ingresso program up here. I was wrong as hell. This is Ingresso. Like how you go to Cinemark or you go to the AMC website and look that up. So Ingresso is a platform for independent or I guess like big name movie theaters to sell the tickets through in Brazil. That's really cool. Even then, like it still proves that the dude was right and that he is credible, at least in my opinion. But going down this rabbit hole was very fun for me personally. It took me like an hour, maybe 30 minutes to look all this stuff up. As much as I think it's unprofessional for Gooseworks to be constantly talking about her work on Twitter with her fans, you know, she was honest from the jump. Apologies to everyone who watched the pilot and wanted deep lore mystery plot that progresses with each episode. This show's progression is 90% just character stuff. People are treating this like it's FNAF, like it's Puppy Playtime with the ARGs and da-da-da-da-da. Please, okay? Please. They are not making a whole separate movie for fake endings just to trick the fans, and they're not going to have a whole, oh, it was Agatha all along, Afton came back, and, you know, Jax is the bad guy, and Bubble Boy virus, and please. Okay, before I continue, can we please talk about this promotional image that Glitch just posted? Because why the ever-loving fuck is Jax again front and center, like he's the emotional core of this franchise? Why is it the amazing digital Jax show, the amazing Jax, the Jaxazing digital Jax show? That's what this is now. Pomni is right there. She's the main character, she's the protagonist, and yet somehow this rabbit and his trauma and backstory are more important than hers, or any other character for that matter. The narrative shows you how awful he is through the entire series and how much he refuses to be vulnerable to allow himself to grow and atone for his actions, and yet they still want you to feel bad for him and care about his story over everyone else's in the show. He has no development whatsoever. He is the same annoying asshole throughout the entire show. He doesn't progress or regress. And I know people will watch episode 9 and think to themselves, well, what we learn about him makes him way worse in retrospect. And I'm saying no, him choking out Pomni in his mental mindscape palace is not worse than him emptying a clip into Ragatha. Because the mental mindscape thing is, I won't say it's his fantasies, but it's not real. What is real and the pain that they can actually feel in their digital world that they can't escape from, that is real pain for them. And we all know how much Jax loves causing pain in others. It is possible to have the audience understand the reasons behind an antagonistic character's awful actions by learning their backstory, and have that character still be compelling even when the character is progressively getting worse as the series goes on. People love villains no matter how evil or unethical they are or grow to be, to my dismay personally. It's also possible to have a character go from committing literal war crimes and actively engaging in genocide in one season, and then by the next one he's halfway through his redemption arc, and the audience was able to sympathize with him and his pain and see him grow into a good person and be extremely beloved. by all fans. If you're going to shove Jax down our throats, at least make him do something. Make him crash out, make him snap, make him push Kinger into the void. Let him be violent and awful. Let him earn the title of being truly unredeemable. But instead, the narrative is constantly asking you to empathize with him, with all the panic attacks he has and the near abstractions. The writers or the narrative is constantly asking you to empathize with him, and that suggests that there's going to be a redemption arc for Jax, because that empathy that you're asking the audience to feel for an awful person has to be rewarded. But there obviously isn't going to be a redemption arc for Jax. We're on the last episode. It's over. He dies. He fucking dies. That's it. And this is just a fraction of the reason why he feels so forced onto the audience. And again, the cherry on top of all this is that the motherfucker abstracts off screen. What a fucking waste. I can't even fathom it. And I really hope that random ass Stevie Wonder Pomni X Jax edit isn't real, but it most likely is. And this whole thing is truly, genuinely insane. And I'm laughing. You can hear the smile in my voice, I'm sure. But I promise you, I'm in Spain without the S. Anyways, back to the leaks. Okay, hoes, it's a late night double feature, okay? We're talking about the leaks. We're going to go more in depth on the leaks. I'm going to compare my version of the leak compared to this little AI leak that's going around. And I'm sure you guys seen this. I talked about it in my video, the last one. And for anyone that was confused, so this is the leaks, what came out, supposedly. And then this in the corner is from the trailer. And you see how they're connecting the lines and stuff. So we're going to analyze this. And then I'm going to show you my leaks. Here are said leaks. What happened was someone hacked into the Brazilian distributors' files and they released the movie. And so what people started doing was that they took the file of the movie, they put their tags all over it, and then they distributed it. And then people added captions because the movie's in Portuguese right now. And so people are translating it through the captions: Arabic, English, Spanish, probably French. Those are the ones that I've seen so far. So what you see here is the jelly tag all over the page, because what these leakers want to do is they're going to continue to leak other projects, and they want people to come back to their stuff every time there's a leak. That's how the leaking works, I guess. I don't know. Yes, I had to download Telegram to be able to watch the movie because I'm low-key hyperfixating, obsessed with this show. Let's look at the other stuff, the things that people aren't paying attention to. So up here in the corner, it says, for Brazilian accessibility reference only. In the center, we have Antonio Cavage, and I can't read that. And there's like a number at the bottom. And then right here it says, do not distribute. Again, if we go right here, we see the do not distribute. It's a bit clearer this time. We have the Antonio Cavalieri, I'm so sorry, dude, Jr. And then up the top it says, for Brazilian accessibility reference only. And then, of course, the jelly tags everywhere, because that is who released this version of the leak. And then, as you can see, there's no AI artifacts tearing it. It doesn't look weird and chopped and screwed like how this does. Or this does. Let's look at this one a bit deeper, okay? So why does this look so weird and blurry? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I guess you could say because the person screenshotted it and wrote all over it, and so that's why it looks weird. But then how do you explain this? So in this version of the leaks that has everyone convinced it's fake, Zubal's little spiral thing does the dink right there, as I talked about in the last video. But in my version of the leaks and the screenshots that I have for the entire hour-long runtime and these screenshots, there is no little choop where it's at, where Zubal's little spiral swooly thing is at. And another thing with these leaks, why did they blur the tag in the center? Something about that just seems kind of odd, I would say. But I don't know, at this point you can argue that I'm the problem. I'm the one that's coming up with this stuff, I'm the one that's, counting toes like it's FNAF or something. But isn't it kind of fun? I don't know. But I really just wanted to do this because I feel like a lot of big creators are giving people false hope, and it makes me feel bad. And it also makes me feel like I'm kind of insane, because there's no way people think that they would do all that stuff for a stunt, or like it was for fun, or like, it was an ARG, it was a hoax to lead you this way, and it's actually this way. I'm gonna be real though. I never cared about being wrong. I actually like being wrong. So if it turns out that the egg's in my face and it is some freaking Spider-Verse No Way Home type, like every release of the movie in every theater is going to be different, and then the online version is going to be different, and the Netflix version is going to be different, and we're going to get the B theory and the Soma theory and the escape pod theory and the fucking bubble virus theory. All of that's going to be correct. Technically, the bubble virus thing is correct. I don't know. Bro, I don't know. Fuck. All I'm saying is that I would love to be wrong, but let's be real, I'm not. And plus, I think we can all agree this post from Goods Productions kind of confirms it. But you can argue the semantics if you want to. People are going to believe what they believe. Let's all remember that the show is pretty much over. It doesn't really matter anymore. Whatever. Bye. My bitch is shaking ass, in and out. My bitch is shaking.